Hey, what's up, guys, girls? This is Doc. There's just two quick things I wanted to bring up tonight. It's Friday night. I don't even know what the date is. November 20 something. Anyways, and I'm sure you guys are out enjoying, beginning the enjoyments of your weekends. And I hope that we have many, 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 many more enjoyable weekends. And I hope your weekend is enjoyable. But there's two things I want to just bring to your attention. And I want to remind you that, you know, when I make a video, I try to remind you of the previous and the previous. And don't forget about the oil of oregano. Don't forget about the iodine. Don't forget about that stuff. If you know this is payday for a lot of people, and it doesn't cost much to get it in your mix. I just don't want you to feel a regret if SHTF occurs and you don't have it in your stock. But there's another tool. There's two more tools I want to just show you. Actually, I'll have to tell you about one because I'm not able to drag it down. It's up there and it's pretty much mounted. But it's a CB. Okay. Now, if there is a power grid down and you don't have a access to a crank radio or a battery operated radio, it only lasts so long. One of the best ways is through CB. And if you don't have, unless you, of course, you have the what do you call that? Shortwave radio. But communication is one of the most important things. There's nothing worse than being left in the dark. Okay? So if you can get any communication that doesn't require electricity, that you can use for a backup with a battery system, then that's what I'm telling you to do. You need to think about that, because I don't know. I just got this crawly, creepy feeling that something wicked this way is coming. And we're going to be dealing with some stuff that we don't really want to deal with. I can't explain it any more than that, except, you just kind of get that feeling that something is coming down the road, and you got to get ready for it. So you got to make sure that all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. So you need a communication. You need to be able to talk to your neighbors around you, and not by cell phone. Psh, power goes out, satellite towers go out. Your cell phone is nothing but a paperweight. But the old-fashioned CB or the old-fashioned radio, that's how you're going to get some info. Okay? You need info and communication. I like the CB because I can listen to people and I can talk back to them. That's communication. Cuts down on the paranoia when you can communicate with people. Okay? I mean, I went through that 2003 thing. You remember going through the 2003 where the power was out for 3 days? All the cell phones. Excuse me. All the cell phones went out, or at least in our areas, because the cell phone towers went down. So we were stuck with, I had the whole neighborhood around my house. Everybody within a quarter-mile radius decided to show up at my front door because I had a radio, and I thought that was fascinating. I had one of those, I had like 4 or 5 of those, what do you call those, mosquito lamps, them lamps, tiki lamps. I had those in the front yard, because it was hot. It was like 80 degrees outside. And people from all over the neighborhood ended up coming up to where these tiki lamps were. And they all sat around while we listened to the radio, because they didn't have a radio. Everything they had was electrical. And their cell phones didn't work, so how you going to get news? Well, they all sat around my front yard, and we had a ball. Pulled out the grill. People brought stuff over, and somehow my house ended up being the main attraction. But that's because, of course, I had the communication. So I wanted to bring that to you, that you have to have access, okay? Not just to listen, but you need to be able to talk to people back and forth, okay? And to me, a CB is a good way to do it. You can throw it in your vehicle, put the magnetic thing on top, boom. Or you could sit at the house, hook it up to a 12-volt battery, or sit in your vehicle in the driveway, boom, communication. Or run cables from the car to the house, and then put the CB in the house, boom, communication. But communication is number one. Next thing is this simple little thing right here. Okay? Now I recommend you get 2 of these. They're not that expensive. You see, there's a difference between a survival bag and a bug out bag. Alright? You'll learn the difference if you're keeping up on this stuff. But see what this does, and you probably already know, it's a multi-tool. It turns into a pair of pliers. Okay? Chop, 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 chop. But it also turns into a set of wire cutters, which is right there at the bottom. And it also has a flathead screwdriver on the end of the cork of the bottle opener, which we really don't need anymore because they really don't make bottles. It comes with a knife. It comes with your basic stuff. Oh, there's a flathead screwdriver. Okay, on this side. See, it comes with this stuff. And then on this side, another opener, Phillips head screwdriver, and a miniature saw, and another smaller flathead, and a miniature saw and file. You know, for you ladies who want to do your nails. But no, it's a file for other stuff too. Okay? This is an important little tool. I mean, there's really not much to it. You just fold it all back up, but it gives you access to stuff that you don't think of every day. Who wants to lug around a toolbox when you're in a survival or bug out mode? All of these little things. If you got a couple of these, you put one in your survival bag and one in your bug out bag. Okay? And you have a basic tool to grab things, unscrew things, screw things, cut things, yada, 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 yada. And also what I have that I don't have in the office with me, it's in my, if you notice, my vest in my bag is gone. I'm in the process of going through the whole thing and updating and removing, and which I recommend everybody do before Thanksgiving. That's the perfect time to do it. Remove it and remove the outdated stuff before Thanksgiving. Have it all ready for the winter. Get your shorts and your t-shirts out of the bug out bag. Get your cold winter stuff in there. You know, you got to swap out just like you do spring, you know, spring cleaning of your home, and you know, you don't wear spring clothes in the dead of winter. So you have to do the same thing with your bug out bag. Now your survival bag's another story. And if you don't know what a survival bag is, that's something to keep you for a few days to be able to handle the necessities to get you to where you're going. Okay? Bug out bag's different. They carry your clothes and all the other stuff. Survival bag is something to survive with. Now, excuse me, fighting off a cold. I have what's called a ferro rod. And it's a rod, and it's in my bag. So I'll make another video on that. A ferro rod, in order to be able to start fire with, and a couple other things. But you know, it's not just a medical that you need, but you need some basic, you know, survival stuff. People think they can just carry a book of matches. No, that's not the only thing you can carry. You need to be redundant. You need to have more than one of stuff. That way, if you were to lose a bag, you would still have the redundance of the same thing in another bag. That's the secret. One of the secrets to survival. Okay. But a ferro rod is a rod where you can take a piece of metal, whether it be a knife or whatever, scrape it, and it throws off sparks to start a fire. because there's two things you must have. Number one is a shelter, and number two is a fire, whether it be the summer or the winter. Because one, you need to be able to stay dry. Two, you need to be able to dry stuff that got wet. And three, you need to be able to eat. Unless you feel like eating raw squirrel, you need to be able to cook that stuff. Okay? So that's just the basics of life. And the first three are, maybe it's two, I don't know. It's shelter, fire, okay, and communication. That's my three, anyways. Shelter, fire, communication. Got to be able to cover the three. You got those three covered, you can figure out the rest. As long as you got that, okay. A simple tarp over a dead tree could easily make a shelter. But that, you know what? There's other people on YouTube that are more into how to build several different things like that. Everybody has their forte. Okay? So I'm just bringing it to you with the basics. You need communication. Not just hearing it on the radio, but you need to be able to talk back and forth to people. You need some sort of a CB or shortwave radio or an ability to talk to people so you can see and hear, or so you can hear and understand what's going on around each other. That gives you an idea of what's going on in your community. Okay? And then your basic tool stuff. Alright? Now, if you got one of those Cub Scout Universal 500-piece knives, great. But do you have two of them? Okay? Because generally the survival bag goes in your vehicle and pretty much stays there. So the two bags are different. And I challenge you, maybe that's a good challenge. Go on to YouTube and see if you can figure out the difference between a survival bag and a bug out bag. Okay? That's what the military taught me. So I want to see, maybe that's a good challenge for you. But I'll bring forth some other stuff, okay, that you need, the basic stuff. Pliers are always great. They remove splinters. Lord knows you're going to get them in the woods. Thorns, okay. They do a lot of things. They can also grab things, twist things. You know, they will help you quite a bit with little cutters on them. And, of course, all the other little pieces that come in here to play. You do need two of these, okay? In two separate bags, just in case. All right? All right. It's Friday night. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Keep an eye on what's going on. And we'll talk to you over the weekend, I'm sure. I have a couple other things I want to bring up, so I'll bring them up with the videos, okay? All right. God bless, guys and ladies. Got your back. Bye-bye.